back with the Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade. Okay, you've been talking to celebrities, regular folks. Are there any surprising moments that you've experienced in these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the Goodness Factor, just period.
Yeah, period.
A few weeks ago, I was hanging out backstage at another Houstonian Robert Glasper show at the Blue Note Jazz Club in Greenwich Village in Manhattan, and I went back to say hi to my fellow Houstonian, and Mary J. Blige was in the dressing room with him.
Nice.
I'd met Mary a couple of times during my career, but nothing to where she's like my best friend or anything, you know. So I'm not even sure she would even remember me, but. Robert introduced us, and Robert was like, yeah, Shelley used to be on 97.9 The Box. I was like, Mary doesn't know anything about that. And she was like, but I know you from 94.7 The Block in New York. She says, I listen to you all the time. You have nothing but positivity, and I love your voice. And I was like, what?
Nice.
Mary J.
Yes.
You know, so that surprised me. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, okay, well, you are known for positivity, and you've got your podcast, so we want some tips from you on making sure that we are staying positive in the new year.
It all depends on your mindset. For me, when I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I do is say thank you, you know, for the fact that I'm blessed, you know, with life, another day of life. And I think that when you start off your day with positive intentions, that always, because you know, unfortunately, you have some people who wake up and their whole goal for the day is trying to figure out how they can take advantage of other people. You know,
can't stand those people.
So I think that when you wake up with good intentions for yourself and for others, I think that's a great way to start the day.
Okay, that is perfect. Great way to start. So just saying thank you and setting that intention for the day.
Yeah, and reframing, you know, because listen, life be life, and we all go through, you know, things. That's not to say, you know, you're like acting like everything's all rainbows and unicorns, but you can reframe a situation to think, okay, well, I'm going through this right now, but, you know, as they say, this too shall pass. What can I do today to make sure that I'm in a better place than I was yesterday? Focus on the things that you're blessed with, and focus on what you can do to improve your situation, and that's better than focusing on things that you really can't change.
Yes, amen to that. Okay, so let's say we set the intention for the day. We're starting off nicely. We're having a great day, but then something terrible happens today. We feel like it's ruined. We are all off track. How do you adjust your mindset during those dust-ups and things?
I think it's okay. And again, nothing's always rainbows and unicorns. None of us is perfect. None of us has all the answers, and we all will have bad things happen to us and go through bad experiences. And I think it's okay to kind of sit in that for a while. You know, maybe even wallow in it for a few few hours, a few days, but don't let yourself stay in that situation, because it's doing nothing for you to just feel sorry for yourself. So I think that, okay, this happened to me, but you think, and when you're going through something and you realize that you've come through on the other end and you've been successful at overcoming that thing, that lets you know that it's possible, right? And so then when that's happened, you're going through something else that's challenging, you can look back on those times that, hey, I had this this thing that I perceived was an awful experience,
right?
But really, now that I've gone through it, I know that it's made me resilient. It's made me a stronger person, proven that I'm a stronger person. And so it actually helped me.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
To know that I'm strong and that I can figure out these problems and that I can weather the storm. So learning from our past experiences and not looking at them as life breaking or ending. Might be a little life altering, but not life ending. And you realize you're strong enough to get through it, and it builds resilience. And you just remember those times and say, you know what, I can do this. I'm strong. I can do this. I was built for this.
Yes, I'm built for this. Was there an experience that you had where you had to adjust that perspective?
Yeah, if I can think of one thing that was really serious for me career-wise, I remember, you know, I left here to go to New York for a station called Z100, the biggest pop station in the world. I was the first African American to ever have a radio show, a full-time show on that station.
Wow.
And I was really successful on the station. And then 7 years in, they replaced me with Ryan Seacrest. And that was heartbreaking for me because I had worked so hard to get there. it was very heartbreaking, and I had to learn all the lessons from it. But then I came through on the other end, and I was better for it.
Yeah. You can look back at that and say, at the time,
I remember calling my mom because my career was such my life at the time.
Yes.
And you know how if you're really, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this. If you're really serious about your work and what you do and you put a lot into it, you almost start equating it with your life and your value and your worth. And what I learned from that situation is that radio is what I do, it's not who I am. It's a big part of what I do, but it's not the entirety of who I am. There's a whole other amazing person aside from what I do as a career. And so my life wasn't over, because I remember right after I found out they were replacing me with Seacrest, I called my mom crying and said, what does this mean for my life? You know, and so I no longer think of it that way. Okay, this was an amazing opportunity, it was an amazing job, amazing life experience. What's next?
Yes.
Is how I would respond to it now. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, what does this mean for my life? It was a job, and it's run its course. What's next?
Right. Did you ever talk to Ryan Seacrest?
No, I
No?
didn't.
Okay.
No.
But you're back on top, so it doesn't matter. Well, thank you so much for adjusting our perspectives.
Yeah.
We're going to have you stick around because I want to know what you have coming up for the new year. I want to hear your intentions.
Okay.
I'm going to share mine. We're going to do our vision boards
Oh, so
together.
excited.
Okay? All right, so we'll see you guys on the other side of this break. Get ready.